Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, friends, whenever you're watching this. We're coming to you here from our sanctuary at Springfield Heights Mennonite Church. And we had planned this wonderful evening tonight because today is Maundy Thursday, and we had planned this beautiful evening with choir songs sang by the Kildonan Community Choir, and we were going to have this beautiful Tenebrae service to kind of lead us into this Easter weekend. But plans have changed because of COVID, and here we are. So I just wanted to pass along to you a couple of words from the Bible that have really struck out to me. This is from John 13, where Jesus is having his last supper with the disciples, and they're sitting around the table, and we already found out that Jesus knows that Judas will betray him. And then it says the following. It says, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given him all things and that he had come from God and that he was going to God, got up from the table, took off his outer robe, tied a towel around himself, and then he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with a towel that was tied around him. I love that word. Jesus, knowing that he was from God and that everything was given to him, decided to do this. And the Bible doesn't say he did it despite coming from God, despite being God's son, despite his greatness, but just says he knew who he was and he decided to do this. He knew that this was a way to show love, but he also knew whom he was serving. He knew that one of the people there would betray him later, and he still went ahead with it. Friends, to serve others is difficult sometimes, especially people that we don't like or that we have a beef with. But here's my question for you this weekend. Who is God calling you to love and to serve? Then we move on, and Jesus comes around the table and he comes to Peter. And when Peter sees this, he says, "You will never wash my feet." A strong statement. Never. You are Jesus. I'm just Peter. That can't happen. It should be the other way around. Friends, it's hard sometimes to accept love and service. Sometimes it's actually easier to serve someone. But Jesus reminds us here, there is no one who is too great to serve, but there's also no one who is too great or too lowly to be served. So my question is this for this weekend. Who do you have to let serve you? How do you have to accept service and love this weekend? And then after the foot washing is done and they're sitting at the table and they're eating, and Jesus has told his disciple that there will be one amongst them who will betray them, he gives them a new commandment. And from this we actually get the term Maundy Thursday. Maundy just comes from a Latin term for commandment. It's New Commandment Thursday. And Jesus says this in verse 34. I give you a new commandment, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you should also love one another. That just hit me deeply. Just as I have loved you. Jesus is saying this at the Last Supper with his disciples. He is ready to head out into the garden where he will be arrested, and then the next day he will be hung on that cross and he will die. Because of love. Because of God's love, and because of Jesus' love for us and for his Father. And he tells his disciples, I want you to love just as I have loved. Not just to say, yeah, I love people. No. Do you love as much as I have loved you? That's the commandment. Just as I have loved you, I want you to love others. What a beautiful ask, and what a hard ask. What a great commission for our lives, and how much work that is. Jesus demonstrates it to us on the cross, and it's our calling for our lives. My friends, may God give you the strength to love. May God give you the grace to accept love from others, and may God give you courage to follow Jesus to the cross. Have a blessed Maundy Thursday. Amen.